How do we respond? What do we say to people? That's the question I've gotten from some leaders recently, specifically as it relates to a world that seems to be spiraling out of control, and that all you seem to hear about is crime and violence, war, protests, and it only seems to be getting worse. And so obviously people are feeling unsettled. Many are feeling overwhelmed. And so how do we respond? What do we say to them? This is why in many ways, more and more, this seems to me the age of the promises, which I will come back to in a moment. But in this instance, God said that we would be established in righteousness and that oppression would be far from us. So we wouldn't need to fear, and that terror would not come near us. That's His promise to us. And now I'll put the location of that promise in the description below because it's valuable. It's worthwhile for people to read and understand God's promise for themselves. But I consider this more and more the age of the promises because first, we have to understand God not only desires for us to survive the world that's spiraling, the chaos around us, not just to navigate it, but to thrive so that we would fulfill His purposes. And to do that, He's given us these promises. But we have to grow in them. We have to mature in them, that we can't be like little children just wanting it to be okay. And that we grow and mature in His promises by knowing them, by increasingly placing our faith, our reliance, our expectation on those promises. See, God's promises in His perspective, they are His commitment to us. And our role is to actually apply them, to actually rely on them. Recognizing that God's desire is that we would bring the kingdom of God into situations, into lives, into business relationships, into ministry opportunities, into families, into communities. And that we would do that not by our ability and by our power, but by our connection to the living God and to His promises. And that this is the age of promises because it's time for us to begin to mature, lay claim, and rely on His promises.